First off, thanks everybody for coming out. I hope everybody had a good day today. Looks like we had a lot of great stuff out on the table. A couple things right off the top. I know Bruce is going to talk here in a second, but I just wanted to say thanks again, once again, to our corporate sponsors today. We had Sunward Hobbies. Angelo had some great deals out on the tables in the vendor room. We got the Zoom room from the RC stuff. They weren't here today, but we've got to make sure we support these guys. We also had some help from Track Jam and from Daily Hobbies, and Randy unfortunately had some things going on today and wasn't able to show up. A couple thanks from me personally. We had a lot of great help, so I got to thank obviously my wife for doing the data entry here today, my son for Nicholas for running around grabbing all the entry forms from the judge. We got Chelsea back here. She's been helping me take some pictures. She's going to be filming some videos, so thanks to all of you guys. Very much appreciated. So without further ado, I will throw it over to the guy who's not paying attention to me right now, Bruce Playfoot, the president of Peel Scale Models.
Hey everybody, welcome to Torcan 2019 Model Contest. Thank you for attending today. It started out a bit rainy and messy. It's gotten quite warm. It's sunny. For those who haven't been outside, it's sunny now, cool and beautiful. So you got a nice exit home. Just like to let you know there were 429 entries to this year's show and 465 roughly models on the table. We'll get the date. Of course, 5:32. Thank you, David. We'd like to thank the following people for all their efforts in making the show a success. Errol Salas, Jeremy Kennedy was just speaking, Chuck Rothman, Dave Bailey for all the work for sponsorship, as well as Gates Bisson. And I'd like to say a special thanks to Ian Fraser being our head judge for the last couple of years. Ian is retiring from doing that for us next year, so special thanks to you, Ian, for that. Thank you to all our lead judges, John Wong, Scott Taylor, John Evans, Mark Gilbert, Mike Sisko, Mark Wright, and unfortunately I don't have the other list. Those of you I haven't mentioned, thank you very much for your help and your volunteering today to do so. It's always needed at every scale model show, greatly appreciated. So again, thank you to all the many volunteers participating from model clubs who helped with setup, admissions, for registration, raffles, and judging. We'd also like to thank all of our many sponsors for their generous donations to the show. Just want to let you know about some upcoming shows before we start. On Parade Model Soldiers Show, June 15th. Toronto, Sword and Brush Annual Tabletop Wargaming and Miniature Show, September 7-8th, Burlington. Capcom in Ottawa this year. Plastic Model Contest, September 28th in Ottawa, Ontario at the Canadian War Museum. Roadcon 38 Model Contest, September 15th in Rochester, New York. Group 25's Model Car Builder Show, September 28th in Toronto. Welcome 19th Scale Model Show, October 19th in Fergus. The Air CatCon Model Show is also on that same day, and it's in Breslau, Ontario. Sounds like there's going to be a double hit that day. The Ottawa Scale Auto Contest, October 20th in Ottawa. Circon 32 Scale Model Show, October 20th in Syracuse. The IPMS USA National Convention is August 7th to 10th in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Gates Bisson is running a bus down there. I don't know where that's at for capacity. That gentleman's right there. If you have any interest in that bus trip, then please see Gates today. And Heritage Con 14 Plastic Scale Model Show will be March 25th, 2020 in Hamilton as always. A couple of requests before we begin the awards presentation. Please leave your entry sheets on the tables. They will be collected at the end of the show. When the award ceremony is finished, please remove your models from the tables in a timely way to assist our volunteers with the takedown. Please hold your applause until all winners in a category have been announced. And now on with the awards. Thank you very much, everybody. Glad you're here. We had a great show. Thank you.
Alrighty, so without further ado, let's get to it. Category J1 Aircraft, sponsored by Bernie Hengst. In third place, nobody. Second place, Sarah Albers with a P51. First place, Aiden Lord with a Republic F84G. Come on up. If anybody's coming from this side, watch your step over the table. Category J2, Military Vehicle, sponsored by Simcoe Scale Modelers. In third place, Julian Salathe with the Kubel Wagon. This is the time in the presentation, by the way, where I apologize to everyone for screwing up their names. Second place, Victor Constanescu with his M10 Tank Destroyer. First place, Julian again with this nice diorama. Category J3, Ships, sponsored by Boomer's Books.
Go.
Third place, we didn't have one. Second place, we didn't have one. Suspense is building for first place with Aiden Lord and his U-Boat Type 206A submarine. Category J4, Automotive, sponsored by Jean-Marc Perrault. In third place, Nicholas Nepatali for a 1969 Chevy Nova. Second place, Owen Tinson, Roadkill Stubby Bob. And first place, Nicholas Nepatali for a Shelby Cobra 427. Category J5, Real Space and Sci-Fi, sponsored by James A.K. Third place, Sarah Albers with the Gundam Robot. Second place, Sarah Albers with the Invisible Man. First place, Nicholas Kennedy for the Millennium Falcon. Category J6, Miscellaneous Figures, Dioramas, and Others, sponsored by IPMS Niagara Frontier. Third place, nobody. Second place, nobody. First place, Julian with his alley vignette. All right, we're moving on to aircraft. Category A1, smaller than 1/72nd scale, sponsored by the Zoom Room. Nobody in third place, nobody in second place. First place, Mark Wright, F-117A Nighthawk. Category A2, biplanes, other rig types, 1/72nd scale, sponsored by Passion for Parkinson's. Third place, Robert Teteruck for the Fokker DR1. Second place, Robert Teteruck for the Blairock X1. First, it's a sweep, the first of the day. Robert Teteruck again for the DH2. Congratulations, Robert. Category A3, single engine, 1/72nd scale, sponsored by Jim Montgomery. In third place, Scott Banks with the Martin Mahler. Second place, Marty DeJong for the D4Y2. First place, John Wong, P43 Lancer. Category A4, multi-engine, 1/72nd scale, sponsored by Francis de Oliveira. Third place went to Martin DeJong again for the Hampton. Second place, Andrew Newman for the Lancaster. First place, Chris Wallace for the Nick. Category A5, jets in the 1/72nd scale, sponsored by Ask Disposal. Third place, Martin DeJong for the Dassault Rafale. Second place, Marty DeJong again for the Saab JAS 39C. First place, Michael Swede for the T128. Category A6, single engine Allied neutral 148 scale, sponsored by our friends at IPMS Hamilton. In third place, Ian Scarborough for the Spitfire ME1. In second place, Gary Reno for the Spitfire 11. First place, Jerry Brennan for the Spitfire MFVC. His fan club with him today. Category A7, single engine Axis 148 scale, sponsored by IPMS London. In third place, Jim Knight for the BF109B. Second place goes to Chris Wallace for the Sakes Zero. First place, Tony Bell for the BF109 E7 truck. Category A8, multi-engine 148 scale, sponsored by IPMS Ottawa. In third place, Jim Knight for the AG177A5. Second place, Ian Scarborough for the SM79 Spar Vibro. First place, Chris Wallace for the Gecko. That plane also helps you save 15% on car insurance. They can't all be gems, people. A9 Jets 148 scale, sponsored by Grass King Landscape. Third place, Michael Swede, the Yak 28 Brewer. Second place, Renee Lehman for the ES3A Shadow. First place, Eric McDougall for the Mirage 2000. Category A10, biplanes, other rig types, 148 and larger, sponsored by Hobby Center. Nobody in third place, nobody in second place. Bob Berger wins for the Walrus MK1. Category A11, single and multi-engine, no biplanes, 132nd and larger, sponsored by Carefree Hobbies. Rob Tremblay in third for the FW190F8. Second place, Mark Handel for the Jonkers D1. First place, Jean St. Germain for the F4U1A. Category A12, Jets 132nd and larger, sponsored by our own John Wong. Third place goes to Eric Stratting for the F4 Phantom. Second place, Sylvain Perrant for the MiG 214M. First place, Dan Leduc, F104C. Category A13, all rotary wing, all type, scales, and eras, sponsored by IPMS Niagara Frontier. Third place goes to Alfred Wong for the KA52. Second place, Tony Bell for the Colibri. First place, Jason Liang for the HH1Z. Category A14, all civil, sport, and racing, all type, scales, and eras, sponsored by IPMS Regina and the RSM Regina Scale Motors. Third place, Tony Whittingham for his Hawker Hurricane. Second place, Jim Anderson for the Canso Water Bomber. First place, Chris Wallace for the Kamikaze. A15, all civil airliners, all types, scales, and eras, sponsored by de Havilland Scale Modelers. Nobody in third, nobody in second, but first place went to Bob Ryback for the TWA DC-9. Category A16, vacuum form and minor conversions, all types, scales, and eras, sponsored by Sir Isaac Brock. Nobody in third, nobody in second. First place went to Pierre Lahaye, hope I said that right, for his Boeing TF-32 Naval TPS. Category A17, scratch built major conversions, all type scales and eras, sponsored by James A.K. Third place was emptied. Second place went to Ian Scarborough for his Bristol Glow Fighter. First place, Jim Knight, CS2F Tracker. A18, aircraft dioramas, one or more aircraft with buildings, equipment, figures, etc. All scales, sponsored by Dundas Valley Hobby. Nobody in third. Second place, Ken Brent, Cold Maintenance in Alaska. First place, Jim Knight, Past and Future Glory. A19, out of box, all types, scales, and eras, sponsored by Hobby Center. Third place, John Robinson, Fokker DR1. Second place, Brian Latour, BF109B. First place, Daryl Dean, MiG-31M. Congratulations, everybody in the aircraft categories. Moving on to military vehicles, closed top, fully tracked AFVs, 1/72 smaller, sponsored by IPMS Livonia. Third place, Mark Salehi, T62. Second place, Graham Mansell, T80BV. First place, Will Alcott, M24 Chaffee. MV2 open top, fully tracked AFVs, 1/72 and smaller, sponsored by Graham Mansell. Nobody in third. Second place, Bruce Sundstrom for the Martyr 3. First place, Chris Jusky, Martyr 3H. MV3 Armored Cars, half tracks, 1/72 and smaller, sponsored by Francis De Oliveira. Third place, our head judge, Ian Fraser, for his Rolls Royce. Second place, Graham Mansell, Saladin. First place, Chris Jusky, SDKFZ 255. MV4, softskins, trucks, motorcycles, unarmored tracked vehicles, 1/72 smaller, sponsored by James A.K. Third place, Steve Guthrie, C15A. Second place, Will Alcott, WC54 Ambulance. First place, Chris Jusky, Lance Bulldog. MV5, closed top, fully tracked AFEs, 1/48 scale, sponsored by Track 48. Nobody in third. Second place, Mark Salehi, MIA2. First place, Sue Game 1, Panzer 2. MV6, open top, fully tracked AFEs, 1/48 scale, also sponsored by Track 48. Nobody in third, nobody in second, nobody in first. I'll accept the gold medal on behalf of nobody. Thank you. It's worth a shot. MV7, Armored Cars, half tracks, 1/48 scale, sponsored by Track 48. Nobody in third. Second place, Sioux Game 1, SDKF 3252. First place, Ian Fraser, BA 64. MV8, Softskins, 1/48 scale, sponsored by Leo Fulbert. Nobody in third. Sioux Game 1 second for the Kurogan. Yeah, sure. First place, Daryl Tuominen for the Bedford MWD. We had a split in MV9, so that was closed top, fully tracked AFVs, up to including 1945 Allied Neutrals. These were Commonwealth vehicles, sponsored by IPMS Toronto. Third place, our own Sandy McCrory with his heavy tank MKV. Second place, Chuck Rothman for his Matilda. First place, Chris Johnson, TSARV. The other one in the split was same thing, but non-British vehicles, also sponsored by IPMS Toronto. Third place, James Grant, T3457. Second place, our own Chuck Rothman again, M6A1. First place, Sandy McCrory, T70M. MV10, closed top, fully tracked AFVs up to 1945, Axis 135 scale, sponsored by Zoom Room. Third place, Dave Forrest, Stug 3. Sandy McCrory for his Stug 3B. First place, Dave Forrest, Panther D. MV11, closed top, fully tracked AFVs, 1946 to 89, 135th scale. Track Jam Models was the sponsor. Ian Box gets third place for his Sherman. Second place, Mark Salehi, T34 122. First place, Dave Forrest, AMX 13. Category MV12, closed top, fully tracked AFVs, 1990 and later, 135th scale, sponsored by our friends at Track Jam Models. Third place, Ken Glennie for the Iraqi T55 Enigma. Second place, Max Venerachian, I'm sorry I butchered that, for his IDF NAG Machon Doghouse. First place, Chris Johnson for his Finnish ITP SV90. MV13 was open top, fully tracked AFVs, 135th scale, sponsored by James A.K. Nobody in third place. Second place went to John Keller for a Loki 54 centimeter mortar. First place was Chris Johnson for his Archer. Category MV14, armored cars and half tracks, 135th scale, sponsored by Panther Hobbies. Third place was Daryl Tuominen for Stag Hound. Second place, James Grant for Canadian AVGP Grizzly. First place, Sandy McCrory, SDKF 263 Guyana. MV15, soft skins, trucks, motorcycles, etc., 135th scale, sponsored by IPMS Regina. Third place, come back up, Sandy, Lafley SF15R. Second place, Chris Johnson, Liberty Truck. And first place, Chris Johnson for the Scammer. MV16, military vehicles, larger than 135th scale, sponsored by Boomer's Books. Nobody in third, nobody in second, nobody in first. MV17, Ordnance, towed guns, and a whole whack other description, all scales, sponsored by Hobby Center. Third place, James Grant, 21 centimeter Hauser 16. Second place, Sandy McCrory, 12.8 centimeter Pack 44. Dave Forrest was first for his 21 centimeter Morrison. Can we get a box for Sandy to carry his awards home in? Something with wheels? MV18, scratch built, major conversions, all scales, sponsored by Hugh Gilliland. Nobody in third, nobody in second, nobody in first. Boo. MV19, military vehicle vignettes, up to one vehicle, 5 figures, does not tell a story. All scales, sponsored by IPMS Ottawa. Third place, Julian Southale, Kettengrat. Second place, Mark Salehi, French Armored. First place, Brian Wildfong, the Canada Common. My German wife is criticizing my German right now. MV20, military vehicles dioramas. This one tells a story and it's in all scales, sponsored by the Hobby Center. Third place, Mark Salehi for Peace. Second place, John Cairns, British Mark IV female. First place, Chris Jusky, Ambushed Comrades. MV21, out of box, all scales. Sponsored by Boomer's Books. Nobody in third. Second place, Chris Wallace for the K2 Black Panther. First place, Ian Fraser, SA6 Game Farm. Congratulations to all our military winners. So let's go on to ships. Category S1, warships, powered 1-500 and smaller, sponsored by HMCS Models, John Evans. Third place, Alex McKelvery for the HIJMS Notori. Second place, Greg Breeze for the USS Ward. First place, Alex McKelvery again for the USS Indianapolis. Second place, for S2, warships powered larger than 1-500, sponsored by Graham Mansell. Third place, Rod Adam for the IJN Iakukaze. Second place, Rod Adam for the Danton. And first place, looks like I made a spell here, Grant Goodale for the SMS Grosser Kurfürst. Category S3, all sailing ships and sailboats, all scales, sponsored by Time Ristorante. Nobody in third, nobody in second, nobody in first. Boo. That's right. Category S4, motor and torpedo boats, submarines, all small patrol boats in all scales, sponsored by Excalibur Trophy and Awards. Just gave us all our awards today. Third place, Rod Adam for the Japanese sub I-400. Second place, Glenn Colley for the MTM Barcino Italian Explosive Motorboat. First place, Glenn Colley for the Soviet Navy G5 Motor Torpedo Boat. Category S5, other nautical vessels, includes unarmed large ships, passenger liners, freighters, tugboats, fishing, etc. All scales, sponsored by Time Ristorante. Third place, nobody. Second place, Rod Adam for the Abertane Lighthouse. First place, Rod Adam, Great Eastern. Category S6, scratch-built major conversions, all scales, sponsored by IPMS Ottawa. Nobody in third, nobody in second. Oh, get back here, Rod. First place for the HMS Furious in category S6. Category S7, ship dioramas, what are more ships and associated buildings, equipments, etc. All scales, sponsored by Dundas Valley Hobby. Nobody in third, nobody in second. First place, Alex McKelvery for the USS Hornet from the Lowry. Category S8, out of box, all scales, sponsored by our own Grant Goodale. Nobody in third, nobody in second, and Grant Goodale wins first for the USS Saratoga. The fix is in, ladies and gentlemen. If I had known that, I would have sponsored my sci-fi category. Congratulations, everybody, for your ships. Moving on to figures. F1 is our category, foot all scales, sponsored by the Sword and Brush Show. Third place, Dieter Hatcham for Second place, Elliot Jaleo, 54 Mass. First place, Elliot again for Armor Patrol. Category F2, mounted, all scales, was sponsored by Tom Carnes. Third place, Will Murray for Swampy Encounter. Second place, Bruce Sundstrom for Scott's Gray. And first place, Dieter Hacham for Michelito Atando DC. 3 busts in all scales, sponsored by Tom Carnus. Third place was Brian Latour with Nancy Steel Punch. Second place, Brian Latour with Amy Johnson. First place, Brian Wolfong for Captain Sapo. Category F4, science fiction and fantasy, superheroes, monsters, etc. in all scales, sponsored by our friends at Hobby and Toy Central. Third place went to Andrew Hilton Wig for Raptor Space Warrior. Second place, Brian Wildfong for Space Marine. First place, Brian Latour for Kovnik Apprentice. Category F5, dinosaurs in all scales, sponsored by Hobby and Toy Central. Nobody in third, nobody in second, so first place went to Peter Toporzesek for the Dilophosaur. Category F6, figures dioramas, 6 or more single figures which form a complete design in all scales, sponsored by IPMS Niagara Frontier. Third place, John Robinson for A Winter's Tale. Second place, Bruce Sundstrom for Joint Operations. And first place, Dieter Hackham comes back for Dapokinic War, Napoleonic War. Once again, we ask all the judges, please practice handwriting for next year. Category F7, figure vignettes, 2 to 5 single figures, etc. All scales, sponsored by Tom Carnus. Nobody in third, nobody in second, nobody in first. Boo! There, we're all getting it now. Congratulations, everybody in figures. So we're now on to vehicles. Automotive, V1 is the category. Cars, factory stock, domestic, North American design. 124th, 125th, sponsored by our very good friends at Group 25. Third place goes to Cliff Reed for a 1961 Pontiac hardtop. Second place, Adam Granger for a 69 Shelby convertible. And our own JP Perron comes in first with a 57 Chev convertible. Category V2, cars, factory stock, foreign, and non-North American design in the 124 and 125 scale, sponsored by our friends at Toys for Everyone. Nobody in third, nobody in second, Adam Granger in first for the Honda S2000. That was almost a boo. V3, cars competition closed wheel, i.e. stunt car, Le Mans, etc. 124, 125, sponsored by the Ottawa Model Car Group. Third place, Tony Sakalauskas, 1953 Olds. Second place, Adam Granger for the 2010 Lamborghini. And first place, Sergey, oh boy, I'm just going to butcher that, I apologize, but you know who you are for your 1997 Mercedes CLK GTR. Category V4, cars competition open wheel, Indy stuff in Formula 1, 124th, 125th, sponsored by HSL Synthetics. Third place, Adam Granger for a 67 Chev with a Hemi. Second place, David Walker, 1929 Miller Indy. And Tony Sakalagas again for 1997 Chev Dirt Racer. That was a nice one. V5, cars competition straight line, 124th and 125th, sponsored by Grass King Landscape. Third place, nobody. Second place, Rob Mayers for the Roarin' Rambulance. And first place, JP Perron again, 1965 Plymouth Superstar. Category V6, cars street rod, 124th, 125th, sponsored by MacArthur Miniatures. Third place, Barry Barker, 29 Ford Roadster pickup. Second place, Barry Barker for a 29 Ford Roadster. It's a sweep. First place, Barry Barker, 1926 Middleton. V7 Cars Street Machines Import Tuners, 124th, 125th, was sponsored by somebody anonymous. Very sneaky. Third place, Curtis Worthing, Mazda 787B. Second place, Adam Granger, Bob 77 Firebird. Dave Lowe in first for the Lotus Super Center. V8 Cars Custom, any other vehicle, 124th, 125th, sponsored by MacArthur Miniatures. Third place, Curtis Worthing for the 41 Willys. Second place, JP Perron for the Foose Custom Cadillac. And Tony Sagalowski, I keep butchering your name, I'm so sorry. Here, you say it this time.
It's not awesome. What do you say?
We'll get easy. First 49 Merc. Tony S, that's it. V9 Pickups, Vans, SUVs, 124th, 125th, sponsored by IPMS Ottawa. Barry Barker in third for the C1500 Chev. Ian Box, rusty old Chev pickup in second. Barry Barker in first, 37 Ford delivery. V10 Cars Larger Than the 124th Scale, sponsored by the Ottawa Model Car Group. Third place, Sergey with the Brabham. Imran Malik, Lotus 78. First place, Imran Malik, Lotus 49. That was a very nice car. V11, cars smaller than 125th, sponsored by our own JP Perron. Nobody in third, nobody in second. First place, David Walker, Saline Solution. V12, commercial vehicles, police cars, fire trucks, tow trucks, etc., all scales, sponsored by Group 25. Colin John in third for the 1914 Ford fire truck. Larry Reed for a 53 Ford F800 in second. Larry Reed in first for the mid-50s Int Metro. V13 motorcycles, non-military and all scales, sponsored by the Guelph Plastic Modelers Group. Glenn Colley in third, Ducati Panigale. Second place, Imran Malik, Honda RC 146. Colin John in first for the Vincent Black Shadow. V14 Automotive Dioramas, one or more vehicles, all scales, HSL Synthetic sponsor. Nobody in third, nobody in second. Colin John stops us from booing in first place with Jeep and a crate. V15 Modified Diecast, all scales, sponsored by Excalibur Trophy Awards. Third place, Andrew Hook-Wade for the Acura Integra. Second place, Cliff Reed for the 31 Ford Hot Rod pickup. Cliff Reed in first for the 57 Pontiac Pathfinder. V16 Miscellaneous, Snowmobiles, or anything else, all scales, sponsored by Stefan Poquin. Nobody in third, Larry Reed in second for Post-War Bay City Backhoe. And Cliff Reed in first for the 1966 Honda Garden Tiller. V17 out of box, all scales, sponsored by JP Perron, thank you. Third place, Mike Sisko for the Shelby Cobra. Second place, Colin John for the Caterham BDR. Cliff Reed in first for the 2010 Fusu Super Great Food Repair Van. Congratulations, everybody in automotive. Space and sci-fi stuff coming up. Category 1, Real Space, all scales, sponsored by Hamilton Hobby Specialties. Third place, Robert Teterup for the Shenzhou. Second place, Robert Tiederuck for the Mercury spacecraft. First place, Marty Goodman for the Soviet Soyuz. SSF-2 fictional space vehicles in all scales, sponsored by Vaughn Strength and Conditioning. Third place goes to Alfred Wong for the SMK-12 Superhawk. Third place, Nicholas Tejeda Sanchez for the Snowspeeder. And first place to Alfred Wong for the Y-Wing that was as big as this room. But very nice. Category SSF-3 fictional flying air vehicles in all scales was sponsored by the Cabin. Nobody was in third place. Sergey for second place for the YF-14 Firefox. Jonathan Botting in first for the EH-62B Sea Sergeant. Category 4 for that, fictional ground and marine vehicles, all scales, sponsored by Options Mississauga. Third place, Renee Lehman for the AT-AT Walker. Second place, Dave Strawn for the Space Marine Chimera. First place, Glenn Colley for the Steampunk Coastal Sub. Category 5, Space Sci-Fi Dioramas, all scales, sponsored by Alex Kung. Third place, Ralph Renzetti for the Jagermeister Hovervan. Second place, Dragomir Milanovic for Fallout Building. First place, Ralph Renzetti, Futuristic Spacecraft. SSF-6 out of box all scales, sponsored by Vaughn Strength and Conditioning, and nobody in third place, nobody in second place. Renee Lehman for K2SO in first. Congratulations everybody for the Space and Sci-Fi. Now into Mecca, M1 Universal Century, 144 and smaller, sponsored by our friends at Sun Hobbies. Third place, Simon Lamb, AOZ Hazel Gundam. Second place, Nicholas Tejeda Sanchez, Gundam MK2. First place, Brian Latour, RB-74 Bomber. M2 Universal Century, 1/100 and larger, sponsored by Sunward Hobbies. Third place, Nicholas Tejeda Sanchez, Universal Century. Nicholas again for second place in the RX-78001. Glenn Colley gets first for the Watchman Podball. M3 Alternate Universe, 144 and smaller, sponsored by our friends at Panda Hobby. Brian C. comes in third for the HC Kempfer. Second place, Andrew Hilton Wig for the Navy Leo. First place, Brian Latour, Gundam SD. Category M4, Alternate Universe, 1/100 and larger, sponsored by For the Love of Art and Flowers. Third place, Dave Forrest for the Gundam UIN-6. Second place, Dave Forrest for the Serpent Custom. First place, Jason Williams, Battle Before Done. Category M5, Mecha General, all scales, sponsored by X-Planet Games. Third place, Jonathan Botting, ADR04MKX. Second place, Jonathan Botting, Queen Lu Rao. First place, Xiaofei Zhang for the Imperial Knight Paladin. M6 out of box, all scales, sponsored by Hobby and Toy Central. Third place, nobody. Second place, nobody. First place, Nathaniel Vinaville, RG Zaku. Congratulations, everybody. Buddy and Becca. Specials, SP1 Collections, all scales, sponsored by Ask Disposal. Third place, Brian Latour for Signar Army. Second place, Brian Latour for Kato's Army. First place, Peter Tporezek for Monster Collection. SP2 Humor, all scales, sponsored by Hobby and Toy Central. Third place, Robin Finley for World War IIs. Second place, Greg Breeze for the IJN Nagato. First place, Glenn Colley, It's Good to Be King Tiger. SP3, other subjects, anything else that doesn't fit into any other category. All scales, sponsored by Vaughn Strength and Conditioning. Third place, Paul Enselmaz for Pendulum. Second place, Paul Enselmaz for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And it's a sweep, Paul Enselmaz for Giant Bird in first. Congratulations. We're now on to our theme awards, which means we've marked the 1/3 way point through the awards. Aircraft, Pet Broken and Wounded, our theme award there was sponsored by John Wong. Obviously nobody had third or second, so Rob Tremblay gets the award for the FW190 F8. Theme award for military vehicles, Pet Broken and Wounded, was sponsored by IPMS Hamilton. That went to John Cairns for the MK4 Female. The Ships Theme Award, we did. It went to Curtis Worthing for the Honda. That's not a ship. What is that? I don't think we had one for ships, did we? No, we didn't. No, that's a mistake. Forget all about that. That's a mistake. Motorcycles can't win ships. Oh boy, we got a mistake here. Theme 4 for figures. Forget what it says in the hold on, we've screwed something up here. All right, hold on. We're going to go to the other spreadsheet now. We have a plan B. So, let's see what we have. I'm going to take this one. Yes, I am. Bear with me, technical difficulties. So we missed one, the automotive theme for Bent, Broken, and Wounded. That went to Curtis Worthing for the Honda 1000cc Endurance. Okay, ships, we had nobody. For figures, yeah, forget all about that. For figures, the Bent, Broken, and Wounded theme award goes to Brian Latour for Nancy Steel Punch. There we are, that looks right. Just forget about what it says at the top there. All right, theme 6, that's sci-fi. Bent, Broken, and Wounded. The theme, that goes to Glenn Colley for the Watchman Podball. Good save. We'll edit this in post.
Way to go, IT guy.
All right, so our best weathered model, we're into the best ofs now. This was sponsored by IPMS Rochester. Dragomir Milanovic. That was for the former Ronto Nuka-Cola. Our best of award for the best F4 Phantom goes to Renee Lehman for the RF4E. Our best vignette, sponsored by IPMS Toronto. Dieter Huckham, Napoleonic Wars. Best of 13, best sci-fi real space subject. That was sponsored by Forbes Hobbies. Alfred Wong's Y-Wing. Best Automotive Award, that's our Grant Murray Memorial Award. That was sponsored by Forbes Hobbies. Imran Malik for the Lotus 49. Best Figure, sponsored by the annual Sword and Brush Show. Brian Wilfong, Captain Sapo. Best Ship, sponsored by Grass King Landscape. Glenn Colley, Soviet Motor Torpedo Boat, G5. The Best Modern Military Vehicle Award, that's our Heath Christians Memorial Award, sponsored by Ask Disposal. Dave Forrest, AMX 13. Best Canadian Military Vehicle, that's the Tom Heron Memorial Award, sponsored by IPMS Livonia. Chris Johnson, Scammell Pioneer. Best Military Vehicle, that's the Fred Hawkins Memorial Award, that's been sponsored by AMPS International. Chris Johnson, Scammell Pioneer.
We're going to get somebody to help carry this.
Best 1/48 scale aircraft, that's the Lyman Clark Memorial Award, that's been sponsored by Grass King Landscape. Jason Liang, AH12. Our best airliner was sponsored by Aviation World. Bob Ryback, TWA DC-9. Our best aircraft was sponsored by Aerobuffs. Jason Liang, AH12. Best of Show Junior, sponsored by our friends at Daily Hobbies. Julian Southale, Root and Freedom Diary. Last two, it's our Best in Show People's Choice Award. That's our Dave Fuller Memorial Award. This was sponsored by the Zoom Room. Dragomir Milanovic for following to the And our last award of the evening, the Best of Show. This is the Judge's Choice, the Ron Lowry Memorial Award. This was sponsored by our main sponsor, Sunward Hobbies. And the award goes to Dieter Hockham, Napoleonic Wars. Congratulations, Dieter. Congratulations to all the winners here today. Thank you again, everybody, for coming out. Have a safe drive home. We will see you again in 2020. And one more word here.
I'd just like to give a special thank you and round of applause to Jeremy Kennedy here for 2 years in a row, putting together a stellar digital show for the awards. Almost perfect. It takes a lot of work during the show, so thank you very much, Jeremy.
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, everybody. Have a safe drive home, everybody. We'll see you next year.